President Obama is home from a surprise visit to Afghanistan on Wednesday. He met with Afghan President Hamid Karzai to sign a long-term security agreement which could potentially keep U.S. military forces in the country until 2024 if needed. There was a Taliban suicide attack in Kabul just hours after President Obama left Afghanistan.
Took place in an area that was nowhere near where the president was. I think it was a pre-planned attack that simply went off at the time it did, but had nothing to do with his visit.
The trip marked the first anniversary of the killing of Osama bin Laden, but terrorist groups are still active.
The blind Chinese activist who fled to the U.S. consulate last week is now seeking asylum in the U.S. Chen Guangcheng was under house arrest when he escaped to the embassy, creating tension between the U.S. and China. Chen left on Wednesday because he says the Chinese government threatened to kill his wife. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is in China to discuss security and economic policies. Chen says he wants to leave on her plane back to the U.S.
A UC San Diego student's ordeal has raised cries of abuse at the Drug Enforcement Agency. On April 21st, engineering student Daniel Chong was detained along with 8 others when the DEA raided the house he was in, seizing guns, ammunition, and drugs. In a massive oversight, the 23-year-old was accidentally left handcuffed in a cell for 4 days without food or water. Chong says he screamed and pounded on the door to get an agent's attention, but no one seemed to hear him. He also says he hallucinated and even drank his own urine in order to stay alive. The DEA has issued an apology and is reviewing the detention procedures. Chong plans to sue the agency for $20 million.
Reacting in an effort to end brutality by Border Patrol agents, the community rallied from Balboa Park to downtown in memory of Anastasio Hernandez. PBS recently aired footage of the Hernandez being beaten and tased by a dozen officers. The rally last night was used to raise awareness.
We are not a community that deserves to be treated with disrespect. Today we stand peacefully so that the Border Patrol begins to understand how we can behave in a democratic society. We could dialogue, we could talk, but torture is something that has to be unacceptable.
The Southern Border Communities Coalition is now collecting signatures for an investigation on Hernandez's death.
UC San Diego is discontinuing their transfer admission guarantees from community colleges. The change was caused by the limited capacity of students on campus and the state's budget cuts. UCSD says they have begun their phase-out period, which will only allow transfer students' applications until fall of 2014. Students are speaking out on how this will affect their education.
Students should be able to transfer to get into the program that they want to get into.
If they don't accept transfer students to UCSD, then I don't know what it will be like at UCLA.
If you're interested in learning more, you can always visit the UCSD admissions website.
The Palestine's Children's Relief Fund aims to provide medical care for those who are perhaps the most severely affected and abandoned innocent children. Newscene's Kayla Gomes tells us how San Diegans are getting involved.
What an honor it is to build an organization that proves not only that we can have an impact on the ground in Palestine, but we can make a difference and we can save lives.
Founder and President Steve Sosby speaks at the 5th annual PCRF fundraiser in San Diego. He explains to attendees why raising money for the children is so important.
In the West Bank and in Gaza, there's a lack of specialists. For a lot of doctors, they have better opportunities in other places. If they're Palestinian and they go outside for training for their medical specialization, they don't come back.
Palestinian children with cancer in particular have limited or no access to medical and surgical care.
Which is exactly why a large crowd gathered at the fundraiser, benefiting the first pediatric cancer unit in the West Bank. In San Diego, there's no shortage of volunteers willing to donate money, host children, and provide medical services. Some of our very own doctors care for children brought to San Diego and volunteer on medical missions to the Middle East. Dr. Michael Peters is a plastic surgeon who's been on several missions to Palestine and has seen the suffering firsthand.
The kids who have been burned, they suffer a long time with it, and they don't get treated. They just can't. There's no facilities.
Slowly but surely, PCRF's mission is being fulfilled. Over 1,000 sick and injured children have been sent all over the world for free treatment. And now, even more will find medical care at home. With photojournalist Adon Perez, I'm Kayla Gomes, Newscene.
To learn more about the foundation, visit www.pcrf.net.
Coming up, Women Get Down and Dirty. We'll fill you in on this unique up-and-coming sport.
And it's Cinco de Mayo weekend. After the break, find out where you can find the biggest fiestas in San Diego.
Hey, Sarah.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute. How do you know him?
Come on, Donovan, do it like I taught you. Love the new tattoo, Sarah. Let's go!
Dude, that's Sarah. The girl in the pink shirt, that's the girl I was telling you about.
Oh, that's Sarah?
Pt2 on your left. Hey, Sarah. What color underwear today?